So in this example here, when I plug in my value, I end up with 0 over square root 0, which is 0. So I do have the condition if I want to use L'Hopital's. Okay, so I'm going to use L'Hopital's again. And using L'Hopital's, and by the way, L'Hopital's is not always going to be the easiest way to do it. So there are alternatives to this. But I'm going to use L'Hopital's here. So I'm going to end up with the limit as x approaches 3 from the negative side. And this ends up being negative 2x in the numerator. And then in the denominator, I get 1 over 2 root 3 minus x. I differentiate the negative x to get negative 1. Okay, so I want to simplify this expression. So I get limit as x approaches 3 from the negative side. When I simplify this, the negatives cancel out. So I end up with 4x square root x minus 3, x minus 3 minus x. Okay, and then that's my simplified expression. I can plug negative 3 in, I can plug 3 in, and I end up with 12 times 0, and that's equal to 0. Okay, so the limit is equal to 0. Now, as I mentioned, this could be done not using L'Hopital's. And I can do some other methods. So if I want to, I could try using some other strategy here. And what I'm looking at here is I know that 9 minus x squared has a factor of 3 minus x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the denominator by that to generate the 3 minus x factor. I just have to make sure I do that to the numerator. Okay, so I'd end up with the limit as x approaches 3 from the negative side. I'm going to factor this, x 3 plus x, 3 minus x, and then I have that extra factor of 3 square root 3 minus x, and in the denominator, I end up with 3 minus x factor. And by doing this, I've generated a factor which I can cancel out and get rid of the divide by 0. So I've now gotten rid of the divide by 0. I can now evaluate this limit. So I'm going to plug in 3 from the negative side. So plug in 3, I get 3 plus 3 is 6, times the square root of 3 minus 3 is 0, and I get the same answer as 0. So the limit in both cases is equal to 0. And again, I can check this on my graph.